It's cold in my room, so I have my shoes on, jeans. I have 3 shirts on, including my thermal shirt. Right now, I don't know why it's so damn cold in here when the heat runs perfectly when everybody wants it to run. I actually maybe it's because everybody else lives upstairs and the heat rises up there. Anyways, so I'm going to tell the story of a woman who faked her own death and tried to seduce my brother, the asshole brother, the one who's got 2 criminal convictions against me, and to this day he's like, "You jerk! Let me do what I want and come out of the basement whenever I want," because he still lives in my parents' basement. Uh, Talk about some other stuff I'm doing lately. I skipped the screening of the Devil and Father Amort um, that was premiering tonight in Washington, D.C., like the American premiere of it, a documentary about an exorcist in Italy, directed by William Friedkin, the director of The Exorcist, and he was in attendance tonight at the theater. It was a free screening. I thought about going. I've been to the theater before. I like the theater, but then I thought, it's going to take me at least 6 or 7 hours to do everything, like go out there because I'd have to go drive to a metro stop, take the metro there, see it, film it. I would film the Q&A and come back, edit it, and put it online. And I thought, I got to be studying screenwriting. I'm not that excited about the movie. I mean, I'm happy Friedkin's making a movie, but also it didn't seem like the most exciting subject material to me, a documentary about a supposed real exorcist. And not only that, Friedkin, he's just a person too. So how excited could I get when I was thinking, okay, I got to be studying screenwriting right now. I've been seriously slacking on that. I got to scratch my face. I'll go off camera. So I skipped that. Let me know if the audio sounds okay. Again, I was having such problems trying to get this microphone and the audio levels working. There was some setting with my browser. I looked in my computer's mixer where when I was playing it back, apparently that was part of the problem, but I couldn't really isolate what the problem was. Anyways, I skipped the screening of The Devil and Father Amort. Even though William Friedkin himself was there in attendance, I thought, oh, what's the big deal? I needed to work, so I read 2 screenplays instead. And reading screenplays is extremely important. It's like trying to write a book without reading books. I'm trying to write scripts, so I got to read lots of scripts. So I read the script for Nightcrawler, which is, the hell, somebody's running around upstairs. Normally people don't run around. And yeah, they're running back now too. Anyways, the script for Nightcrawler, starring Jake Gyllenhaal, which I love, and it's sort of vaguely, my script is very vaguely sort of patterned on that. Not that it's based on the same story or anything like that, but I knew outlining the story and taking notes on it, it had some of the same feel. The other story, it feels like it sort of has the same feel, is not same feel, just really the pacing is what I was looking for. How does this story pace itself? Because it moves very quickly and it gets a lot done very quickly. The other movie I read the script for, The Woodsman, starring Kevin Bacon. And I wanted to get through, like, to see how does that manage to do everything it does in a certain pace and in a certain order. So I was ended up being glad I skipped the screening. Also, it's just a pain getting out to DC. It's really a hassle. Okay, yeah, reading Rito's comment there. Haha, yeah, whatever. Anyways, we got 12 people on. That's pretty exciting. Can't believe I have that many people on. Again, it's kind of cold in here. I've got 3 shirts on, my jeans and shoes because the floor is cold, even with my socks on. So I skipped the screening of The Devil and Father Amort. No big deal. I read the reviews saying like it wasn't even that compelling, the movie, because Friedkin, first, he shoots it all like a YouTube video, basically. He shoots it all handheld or by himself. He's talking to the camera sometimes, and he's following this Italian exorcist around. And the reviews I read say that he basically, it seems like he's just a showman, like a carnival barker, and he doesn't even really believe what he's seen, and he's just cynically trying to exploit it. Like a woman who probably has a mental illness. She's likely not possessed. I certainly don't believe anybody's possessed, but I'd at least be interested in seeing the documentary. And then also the trailer made it look like they're trying to amp up the fear, and they obviously alter the woman's voice to make it sound demonic just like a voice in The Exorcist. I thought, how can I watch that and not just, roll my eyes and laugh? Thank you. Sarah says, oh, we love you. Thank you. Appreciate that. I like all of you a lot too. I love you all. So, whatever, skip that, no big deal. Read 2 scripts, was really glad about that. Finished a book on screenwriting the other day. I read a book called Secrets of Action Screenwriting, I believe, by William Martell. Excellent book. He's an excellent teacher of screenplays. Then Sarah says, psych, we love your mom. Hey, guess what? Psych, I don't care. Anyway. And the other thing I'm doing, I just signed up for, because I was looking for second jobs for a while, and I may still want one in the future. I may need one, but I really want to put a lot of time and attention into YouTube and seeing how that works out for me. So the other thing, hey, Hakeem, he says hi. The other thing I'm doing that's going to help me with my videos is I signed up to volunteer with the homeless around here. So next month, I'm going to be able to go to an orientation. They only have a couple orientations each month, really 2. So I'm going to go to orientation next month, then I can start volunteering once in a while. That'll be nice because, I do figure I do want to do something, get out this, need to go out and help people, do something that's interesting and important. And to me, that's better than working at a job at like Safeway for $9.80 an hour. And also something I can make it whatever I want. I'm sure there'll be other people there who maybe they work jobs that maybe they could refer me to something. But here's the other thing, the asset of YouTube and filmmaking. No matter what, as long as I'm having interesting experiences, I can make videos about them. So maybe I'm going to see if I can film videos about volunteering for the homeless here. And I'll want to tell stories about it if there are any interesting stories, film stories of the homeless people getting help or showing what their, lives are like, what their problems are, and, hopefully trying to show what should be addressed, because nobody should have to be, especially in this area. It's so damn rich. To me, it's outrageous and stupid and offensive how there's so many wealthy, businesses and government contractors and government buildings and wealthy people walking up and down the same street where there'll be a homeless person sleeping on a bus bench. And I see it, around here. So I signed. Oh, sorry, I banged the table. I know that must carry on the microphone. And let me know if the audio is okay. Again, I spent like 20 minutes trying to figure out if the audio was good or not on this mic. I couldn't tell what the issue was. I think I isolated it, I guess. So by volunteering for the homeless, I could try and make videos with them and make like documentaries and show the stories of just what happens. What happens when someone's homeless? How do they struggle? What's it like? Who are these people? I'm not trying to talk about them like they're some objects or like I'm exploiting them. I just mean I want to make it visible, like show who they are, show that a lot of them just regular people, like not even regular, like they're all kinds of circumstances that can make someone homeless. And there's all kinds of luck and involved that in keeping someone in a home or making someone homeless. And on top of that, if you're homeless, it's extremely hard to get a job anywhere and to get a place to live. Extremely hard. So this organization helps house them and find them work, get them medical treatment. It does a lot of things and feed them. They go out and feed people. So that's something I want to do, is go out, volunteer with this group, feed the homeless, find a new social group. And really, I owe it to myself as a writer now, as a screenwriter, as a filmmaker, to do things, to go out and get in situations that I'm not used to. I would say situations that make me uncomfortable, but it doesn't even make me that uncomfortable. It's just a little time commitment. And make videos about it. So I can either make videos of the actual experience and of the people that are having problems and don't have a home and that we'd be helping out, and about the organization and the volunteers there and the city, what's it like. And it's just outrageous to me. It's so stupid how we don't have, more shelters around here in a street where there's tons of money. I've literally seen this. There's a street around here. There's a lot of, there's a lot of public transportation. There's bus stops. There's the metro. Up and down the street at night, just homeless people sleeping all up and down the street. I'm like, how stupid is this? You look down the street that way. There's the wealthiest, nicest buildings, business complexes, office complexes, condos down the street. How are people not willing to just, set aside a space to house these people? You want them living on the street? That's better to you. So when you walk down the street, you like seeing people just sleeping on a park bench. If it's freezing, if it's raining, you like that as opposed to them having a place to actually live and get some help. It's so ridiculous to me. So anyways, at least I can volunteer a little bit, make videos about it. Or if I have any trouble making videos about it, and they've made videos before, so I don't know if that'll necessarily be an issue. I would ask them, make sure it's okay. But also I could make videos telling stories about it or write stories about it. Some people leave in comments here. So anyways, hey, it's good to hear, Joaquin. Joaquin says, I also live in an area of high income, some $1 million homes. Yeah, a lot around here, but we have no homeless people at all in our city. I will look to help them out. Yeah, and the other thing is you don't have to wait to join an organization. Like me, I have to go through the orientation first before I can just go in like on any given day and prepare food or hand out food. You can always just do that on your own. Spend your own money and go out and hand it to homeless people. Why not? A couple people saying hi. Drake, Brandon, Alejandro. Hey, guys. Thanks for joining me. 16 people. I guess you all really want to hear that story about the woman who faked her own death and tried to seduce my brother. Sorry, I'm trying to adjust my seat. So I'm looking forward to that. That'll be cool. And maybe I'll make some really great videos out of that. And I'd like to make videos that also bring attention and support to this organization so they can house more people and feed more people, get them medical treatment, and get them jobs. They seem like a really great organization, great opportunity. Why not? Oh, I can't remember everybody. Alejandro says, I told you to call me Alex. Well, all right. I forgot. Oh, my stomach's been hurting the last few days. I won't even get into that whole situation. That's just been unfortunate, difficult to deal with, a real pain. Yeah, Drake says, tell us the story. Okay, there's a good number of people in here. Why draw it out? You all came here for the story. I got to scratch my face. I'll go off camera for it. Good. All right. Story's actually pretty simple. It's a sad story. It's unfortunate. I don't like that it happened. I didn't want this for especially the woman, but real short of it is, again, like the other situation, I just happened to meet this woman online. We just happened to, connect, start talking on something. Anyways, started talking more and more just as friends for a couple of weeks. Then we started realizing we like each other and started talking more about possibly visiting. She lived far away and possibly her even moving around here. Scratch my face. Herrera asked, what does scratch my face mean? I mean, I literally have to scratch my face. My nose is itchy. I want to scratch. I don't want to do it on camera because that's considered, that's like kind of rude. And I got to do it again. Actually, I'll blow my nose. Oh, all right. Yeah, but I don't like doing it on camera. Anyways, met this one. Bottom line is, I'll keep it real short. I'm not going to make it a long story. We were even talking about her visiting here and then finding a place to live around here. And, but once in a while, she would get really explosive in her temper talking to me. And at first I was like, whoa, where's this coming from? I don't get it. And over time, it kept happening where she would get really mad and basically get her really bad temper over something and, split up as a result of that. Rich Life is here. What's up, man? Telling the story right now. I'm getting into it. So this woman, she would get really angry about stuff. And I'm not telling this story as like a joke at her expense or like it's fun or anything. It's actually sad to me when I think about it. I didn't want this to happen. I don't like that it happened. I'm not trying to, I wouldn't want anything bad for her. It's unfortunate that it happened. I'm just saying, I mean, okay, so here's what happened. She, again, would just get explosive in her temperament. We'd break up, like try and reconcile, break up so many times. I don't know how many times this happened over a couple months. And then we just stopped talking for a few months, mostly stopped talking. I say mostly because she would send me messages once in a while, kind of provoking me. And I mean, trying to be provocative. And she would say stuff like your brother messaged me. And so my brother would have had to have found her online and messaged her. And she said, oh, your brother messaged me and said that you told your mom about my messages and you're sharing private stuff. And that was fine. Mostly I ignored her for a couple months, but it kind of made me mad and it didn't make sense, but I believed it anyways. And I said, I never told my mom anything about this stuff. My mom knew I was involved with this lady, but I didn't tell her any private messages or anything. But yeah, this woman was saying, oh, you shared your mom our emails, and then your mom told your other brother. And so I asked my mom about it. I got mad at her because here's the crazy thing. This was pushing me away from everybody because it was making me so paranoid. And my mom is so damn horrible at explaining things. I don't understand I wonder if there's some medical test to be able to test people who are not like, they're not mentally handicapped or anything. It's just they're horrible at expressing or communicating anything. My mom would say, oh, no, here's what happened. Wait, see, all I told Michael was, and Michael's my brother, the one with 2 criminal convictions for attacking me, and he's an asshole and he still lives in my parents' basement, and he's a bully. And when he was convicted for attacking me, he didn't think he did anything wrong. He wanted to say I was a threat. I was a danger to him. I was provoking him. I set him up. And sure enough, like the video showed everything to the judge, and the video's on my channel. And the judge sent, my brother pled no contest to get a felony dropped for strangling me, but he got assault and battery charges, conviction for that. Anyways, so she told me that my brother reached out to her, and that didn't really make sense, but I was arguing with her about it. And I said, no, that didn't happen. It was ridiculous. And anyways, after a few months, we ended up sort of getting back together, but as like a friendship that was seen if we could go for it. I said, look, you're abusive. You need to get lots of treatment before we talk about being close again. And for a few weeks we were talking and we were good friends again. Eventually, one day, just some subject came up between us, just a totally innocuous subject. And Alex, just look up on my channel, like brother versus brother flying over trout, or brother fights brother flying over trout on YouTube, and you'll find it. So this woman and I, we were talking, and this is how it would happen. Some totally innocuous subject would come up. She would get really insistent about something and then blow up on me. And it was so selfish, and I was getting so fed up with it. I just said, stop. I can't deal with it anymore. I blocked her, didn't talk to her. Then she started sending me a bunch of angry emails, saying how much she hated me and everything. And so keep in mind, again, we didn't talk for months, got back together sort of as friends, but we were, trying to move forward. And I said, okay, you need treatment. She said, yes, I agree. I need therapy. And we had broken up so many times before that because she had such an explosive temper. She would get furious and then just be abusive. But, we got along great when she was nice and when, we were getting along. So I kept trying to sort of, smooth over it and ignore when she was like that. And it was all lies, basically, that I was trying to ignore. And it was all lies that this was built on. So basically, okay, it was sort of a provisional, like a probationary getting back together. Some subject just made her furious at me. I stopped talking to her. I blocked her. And here's the thing, I would have been willing to talk to her again if she spoke to me reasonably. She sent me a bunch of hateful emails saying what a loser I am, how I'm a horrible abuser, like I'm everything, terrible, how I don't care about her. I was always planning on leaving her all along, even though I accepted her back after I don't know how many times she was abusive to me and cruel and hateful over nothing, like nothing. Each time I was trying to, afterwards I would tell her, look, you need therapy, you gotta, please, here's books to read, please help yourself. So that happened, split up. She started sending me a bunch of angry emails, and here's what happened after that. She was sending me emails. I was just having them go to my spam folder. I blocked her on everything. She would once in a while try to reach out on social media to insult me. I would block her on there too. Just kept insulting and made me about me when she blocked me probably 50 times before that over nothing, being angry with me. So I had her emails going to my spam folder, and then a couple days later I get messages from her family members and friends saying she died, and when some saying that oh, she died and she left a note with your name on it, this is your fault, you'll pay for this, you'll pay for her death. Now I was upset, but I also thought this has got to be fake. And here's the thing, I was really starting to believe it sometimes, and I felt horrible for it. I felt really horrible. But, I was thinking in the back of my mind, it's her pattern too. She once did this before, where she would make suicide threats and she pretended like she killed herself and ignored me for 4 days until I was able to track somebody down in her area who could get a hold of her and check on her. And she, told me, don't send anybody by my house. Well, so here's the thing about that. That other time she faked a suicide threat just to hurt me. She wasn't going to kill herself. She did it knowing she would ignore me for days and that I was extremely hurt and worried. So this time, and again, I took her back after all that. And she was saying, I'm cold blooded. I'm so, I was just ready to move on and get with any woman I wanted. And I didn't even care about her. Well, I could have moved on a month into this thing, but I cared about her and I kept getting back with her because I really did like her and care for her. When we got along great. And I thought she was a really good friend and a good person, but she had this horrible abusive side too, in which to this day, I'm not like relishing that or thinking it's a funny punchline. To me, it's still just sad. It makes me sad. I still always regret it, even though now I know that whole relationship was based on lies, based on the idea that anytime she wanted to blackmail me, basically emotionally blackmail me, she would threaten suicide or fake her own death. Because you never know how many times can you do it, and somebody won't believe it. I always might think, well, this time it might be real, and she knew that. So I got these messages from her friends and family saying, oh, she died and, left a note with your name on it. It's your fault. By the way, my screen's flickering once in a while. I don't know if it's doing it for anybody else. And I was worried that she died. I managed to find something somewhere online where I thought she may have posted. I saw that she posted days after she supposedly died. And no, Drake, I didn't call the police. That's the thing. I tried to find suicide hotlines. She lived in another country, so that was hard to do. I was lucky to be able to call and find someone, knew someone in her area who could go check on her. But anyways, I check online to see where she posted something where I thought she might have. She did, so I knew she was alive. Then I looked at my spam email. I saw dozens of angry, hateful emails from her, both before and after she supposedly died. So it's funny. I looked at the ones before she died, and she's saying, Angelo, I'm going to kill myself right now because of you. You did this, and, my children will forgive me. Therese asks, where's mom? She's sleeping right now. It's 1:12 in the morning, my time, so she's in bed. What did you? What to the what? I don't know what you. Therese asked what you were saying. I forget what I said and what you're asking about. But I looked at, oh, I see what, yeah. I said, I looked at my spam email. TJ, yeah, okay, fine. Somebody asked, have you talked to TJ Brown lately? I once in a while I post on his Facebook, and I still talk and say, hey, look, I want to come by sometime. You know, it's just a matter of finding the right time. I still really want to come by. But yeah, we're still friends. So before and after she supposedly died, I got lots of emails from her. I saw my spam folder, and I'm lucky I didn't read them, because otherwise I might have reached out to her that time. Before she supposedly died, when her family members and friends were telling me, oh, she died, and she left a note on it, left a note with your name, Angelo, and you'll pay for this. She had sent me emails saying, I'm going to kill myself today, and it's your fault, and my children will forgive me. I guess she thought I would respond to that, but I didn't even see it because it went to my spam folder. Thank goodness. So, oh, my screen is glitching out. I hope it's not for anyone else. It might just be my graphics card. So, like that day that she sent that email, she didn't send anything else. I guess she was hoping that I would see that and get worried and message her. So she was playing dead for a little bit. A day later or so, she sent another one saying, I'm going to kill myself. Angelo, I'm going to kill myself right now. And she may have even sent another one a few minutes later or a few hours later. I forget if she sent 2 or 3. I don't feel like looking it up right now. I still have it in my email, but I don't feel like looking it up right now. So she sent these messages saying, Angelo, I'm definitely going to kill myself today, and it's your fault. So this is how she tries to get my attention. Not saying, I'm sorry, Angelo, let's talk, please. You know, I care about you. You know, we both understand each other so well. She didn't try that. She thought the way to talk to me was threatening suicide, like blackmailing me into thinking my death or her death will be my responsibility. So I guess she must have thought that I assumed, you know, I don't know if she thought, okay, I have to make the plan seem more real. So then I got the messages saying, oh, she died and left a note. It was your fault and you'll pay for this. Well, I didn't respond to any of that because I didn't look at my emails, and I was waiting a few days trying to figure out, well, should I even look? I was afraid to look at her Facebook page because I was thinking maybe I'll see that she's really dead. I don't know. I'm too scared to look because I had blocked her on Facebook. Then, so even after she supposedly died, she sent me emails saying, you're so uncaring. I could be dead right now, and you didn't even lift a finger to help me. Oh my goodness. She was so angry. She said if I was there, I would want to kill you myself. And, you know, I would do anything to hurt you right now. She was so angry at me. She said, and by the way, so I could go through all the, you know, dirty details, but in all, she sent to me about 40 emails after I had stopped talking to her completely. And she said so many things like, I want to kill you. If I was there right now, I would, want to hurt you. I wanted to do anything to hurt you so bad. Angelo, I know I don't deserve, I know what I did isn't great, but I went down to your level and you drove me to this. You drove me so low. All I did was ignore her after she started insulting me. And I tried and tried so much, but now I could look back and see every time she pretended like, oh yeah, I'm going to read this book, I'm going to get therapy. It was all a lie. She was doing it just enough to sort of paper over that rough spot and get me back close to her. And so it was horrible. It was always a lie. I felt, by the way, when I was going through this, I was feeling like the world was upside down. I'm like, oh no, this woman I care about is dead, and like life doesn't make sense. I was in a lot of pain. I was having a hard time eating and making videos and just concentrating because I was so I didn't want to sit at the computer and edit videos. I was feeling so horrible. Anyways, I got all these emails from her, and then we've got to talk about, of course, trying to seduce my brother. So, like I mentioned earlier, now this story is getting too long. She told me a few months earlier that my brother had messaged her because he supposedly got information from my mom about this woman. She said, "Oh, Angelo, you shared your mom our private messages, and she told your brother. And I was mad at my mom thinking she did that, even though I didn't tell her anything private. I didn't tell my mom anything private. I think the first time my mom found out about this woman was when I told her, because I was so worried. The first time she threatened suicide and acted like she was dead to hurt me. And again, she was she was not going to commit suicide. She did that a few months earlier just to hurt me. And then she played dead for days and blocked me and ignored my messages and wouldn't answer my phone calls just to hurt me. So that shows you how hurtful it could have been if we had stayed together, and if she had even moved here. Then she could have constantly held that threat over me, that manipulation, not to mention who knows what else she could have done to try and wrap me back into her life, and try and keep me like close to her, because I'd always be afraid of leaving. So like I said, she said that your brother reached out to me because I supposedly told my mom about this woman and our private messages. And she accused me of a lot more stuff than that. I can't even remember all the accusations. She said, oh, I must have done all these other horrible things. I was probably looking for any woman I could. I was not trying to do any of that. But of course, I had nothing to do with that. Like, she broke up with me 50 times, and I would accept her back each time, saying, look, you got to get therapy. I know you're hurting. I really did. And I know she was hurting. And it upsets me. I never like to think about that. It's horrible. But now I also know I had to let go, because it was all based on lies. So she admitted to me that she didn't hear from my brother, that she actually reached out to him. She found him on Facebook and messaged him. And then she talked, yeah, exactly, Justin, or Justine. Yeah. Yeah, Rich Life, come on, take it easy. Yeah. Yeah, I know, Sarah. Yeah, Rich Life, come on. Don't be like that. Anyways. So she said I actually reached out to him in the time when we were broken up for, I forget, a few months, and before we got back together one last time. She said she reached out to my brother, and she tried to seduce him to fly to her country and go have sex with her and have an affair. Not only she tried to do that, she told me stuff. It was funny. Like, I didn't even care. I was relieved to find out. I was like, oh, good. I don't care. She told me stuff that showed that my brother was in sort of going along with this conversation up to a certain point. I don't know how far it went, but she said my brother, the asshole one, the criminal who's attacked me multiple times, more times than he's been arrested. He's only been arrested and convicted twice. He attacked me more times than that. I filmed one of the other times, but he's abusive. Sarah, Sarah asked, do you think she's watching now? I had that worry. Ultimately, I'm not trying to out her or anything or humiliate her. I don't think I can't know, but it's been a long time now, so I'm hoping not. Hoping she's moved on with her life. I really do. I really hope she's moved on with her life. Yeah, Justin, maybe you're right, but I don't know. That's scary, because I don't want her getting back in my life at all. But I really do hope she's moved on with her life and doing well and happy. But anyway, she said she talked to my brother and was trying to seduce him, basically just to hurt me. But she talked about stuff that showed that she actually got somewhere. Therese asked, did you start dating her? No, we only knew each other online. Like, we were talking about moving her here because, I wanted to get her here, help her get some opportunities here. But yeah, it didn't work out, obviously. But she said stuff like about how my brother showed off his car to her, showed off his body. And my brother has had a long-term girlfriend. So my mom said that his girlfriend forbade him from talking to this woman again. I don't know how that all shook out. I'm not exactly sure who found out what happened. it would be funny to bring it up to my brother, like, oh, hey, this woman says you have a nice body. And this woman I was with said you had a nice body. Had no personality. She said he was very boring, and even then she was sort of complimenting me. By the way, also she was telling me too that I'm very ugly, that she only wanted me for a green card to come to America and all this stuff, which was not true, by the way. But she said, oh, you're so weird when you talk and your mouth moves weird, whatever. But see, it came out later, of course, in later emails. She was telling me, you know, I want you and everything. But she's always mixing it in with, I hate you, but I want you so much. And you have a good heart when you want to be. I know you'll be, you know, a good you know, you'll have a good life. People want to listen to you. Even at one point, I took down my Facebook page because I didn't want anybody else reaching out to me saying she died. It was so hurtful. And each new message I got was scarier and scarier to me, saying she died. So I took down, just temporarily, I took down my Facebook page and my Flying Over Trout Facebook page, my personal profile, my Facebook page. She even emailed me when that happened saying, Angelo, put that goddamn Facebook page back up. Those videos are your life. Come on, you're an adult. So, and I didn't know she was emailing me that because it was still just going to my spam email. I didn't check at that until a few days later. But that just shows you she was trying to manipulate me. Like, she wanted to hurt me terribly, but she wanted me. She still wanted me. Like, she didn't want me to change in a way. She wanted me to be a filmmaker and to keep making videos. And she wanted my Facebook page up. But it's like she was saying, I'm going to hurt you terribly, but I don't want you to ever act like you're hurt, Angelo. So she said she tried to get him to fly over to her country and they would have sex everywhere. And it never happened. But anyways, she eventually gave up. And her last emails were to me saying, oh, be happy, Angelo. Like, you're so screwed up mentally and you have such problems. You know, I know one day you'll be happy, but right now you're living in a fantasy world and an empty void. And, you know, I have to forgive myself. I have to forgive you, you know, for myself, so I don't hold this hate over you. It's amazing. Thanks, Therese. Thanks. Therese says, "What WTF is wrong with people?" I'm trying not to cuss because it's a live stream. YouTube may be more strict about that. First off, you're not ugly. I don't even care if I'm ugly or not. What does it matter? Everyone can think what they think. It's not going to change my face. But thank you. And you come from a nice family. Did you hear about my brother? I wouldn't say it's a nice family. And third, everyone loves your mom. Well, that part's true. Yeah, so again, I'm not trying to humiliate her. Obviously, I have not said a name. I've not indicated who she is. I have never posted anything publicly that you could look through and say, oh, I know who she is. You would never know, because everything's gone and there was nothing really in the first place. But it was very hurtful about faking her death. The stuff with my brother, I didn't care. I wanted to tell my brother and say, hey, guess what? She said you had a nice body and, you know, a nice car. What's that about? But she said you didn't have much of a personality. And that was that. She said, oh, I forgive you, Angelo. And, you know, I have to move on. I have to do this for my own well-being, and be happy, Angelo. One day, I'm sure you'll do better. It was just delusional. And after all that, I thought, well, shit. First of all, I'm glad I'm free, because it felt like being captive that whole time. Like, I'm always under her spell. It felt horrible. It was like the world was upside down when she was abusing me and when I thought she was dead. It was like nothing. It was like I was in hell. Like, nothing made sense. And of course, you notice I never really said anything on YouTube about it. I would post vaguely once in a while, like once or twice maybe on Facebook about it, but that's it. And again, it's a sad story. I don't enjoy the fact that she was so hurt, because ultimately she was very hurt. To behave like that, she was very hurt, and that's a horrible thing to do, to fake your own death, because that's how she thought she would be close to me. Meanwhile, I was totally open at any time to talk to her. She abused me. All I wanted her was to properly make amends, to apologize, to take responsibility for herself, and to actually move on and move forward and actually accept me. She could never accept me. And, you know, that shows, you know, she was hurting a lot. I won't I don't take any enjoyment out of that. It's sad. That's all I thought about it afterwards, is just remember the good memories, even though the relationship was based on lies. She was trying to manipulate me into thinking stuff that she didn't have to do at all. Like I said, she didn't have to fake her own death and fake suicide to get me to talk to her. All she had to do was just be open to me and be respectful. And to her, it's like I didn't pass the test if I didn't reach out to her thinking she had died. Why would you want? And there were other lies too. I'm not even going to get into, but other lies that were really freaky and messed up. Thanks. Yeah, people just putting positive comments. Yeah, right. Yeah, I am free. That's what I thought afterwards. I was like, thank goodness I am free. I'm not happy about the fact that there was a good person here who I really enjoyed being with, even though it was all long distance. We never met again. It was just all online and on the phone. But I really, enjoyed the good times, but there's nothing to hold on to there. I'm done. It's free. I took something good from it in a way. There's nothing good about what she was going through. I don't wish that on her. I don't wish that for her. What can in the end, it was like the good takeaway of it is learning that there's something meaningful even in loss. Thank goodness she wasn't dead. She was okay. And this thinking, okay, it is a loss. You have to move on. I can't reach out to her. I was tempted to at times. Oh man, I was tempted to, and that was scary for me, thinking I might reach out because it was like an addiction, to talk to her. I might want to. I was thinking, no, I can't. I would sometimes reach out to people and say, should I talk to her? And of course, they would say, no, don't. That is a horrible mistake. And yeah, it's true. But, it's like, what could I do? Even if I reached out to her and she wanted to make some changes, the thing is, at any given point, she could just threaten suicide again or make any threats again. And she knows that I would fall for it and I'd be in the same place. I would be trapped. And so it doesn't matter think about it. The most tragic thought would be, hey, we end up together 10 years and then she does it again. Or she really does kill herself. Or I don't think she ever wanted to kill herself. Thank goodness. Hey, I'm happy for that. But I wasn't relieved either, thinking like, how could you do such a horrible, horrible threat? And then on top of that, all the other stuff, which trying to seduce my brother, I was laughing about. I didn't care about that. I was like, oh, you tried that? Well, good. All right, good. You two keep talking. I don't care. and I'm glad she told me. And just how, I don't know, it was just an upside down, horrible thing. But there was something meaningful in thinking, okay, I did my very best. I was always trying to be empowering to her and be helpful to the point where it was excessive. I was trying too much and I was lying to myself by pretending like, oh, she gets it. She's got to change. I was telling her, read these books and helping yourself, please. I talked about, my history of being sick and mental illness. But it was for nothing. Like it was all a lie. So that in a way, the sad thing is it made it easier to let go. So I was thinking, well, there was no reality there. She was lying to me that whole time. She had already tried to seduce my brother, lied about it. She had already made fake suicide threats and manipulated me with that. She had done other things to lie to me to try and get my sympathy. I won't even say, but like other fake things that supposedly happen. But I do believe also that real horrible things happened to her. Real horrible. And that just makes me sad. I don't even like thinking about it. So that's the story. God damn it. My roommate's dog is barking like a maniac. Anyways, so there you go. It's not it's not a good thing that happened. Yeah, the dog. What? Why did dogs have to be like this? Can't they learn? No, I can't tell the dog to go shut. Here's the thing with the dog. I can go to her and sort of, you can't really yell at her, but you can sort of just talk to her, keep her attention. That's all. But she's always going to try and bark again, and who cares? My roommate's problem. Anyway, so that's the story. It's sad. It's not good. Because she was a good person. She was a good person with this trap all around her of believing, that she has to manipulate me and abuse me just to keep me with her. When the reality was 100% the opposite. It was 180 degrees. All right, Drake. Drake says he's going. Thanks for the story. Bye. See you, Drake. Karl Marx just joined us. Says hi. Carl, you're going to have to watch the replay to hear the whole story. I also mentioned for people who missed it, I skipped the screening of The Devil and Father Amort tonight. That's a new documentary about a supposed real exorcist or sort of rogue exorcist in Italy from William Friedkin, the director of The Exorcist and Sorcerer. And did he direct The French Connection? No, John Frankenheimer did, right? I can't remember now. Or maybe he did. Let me see real quick because people are going to correct me on it. Director of The French Connection. Oh, it is William Friedkin. Okay, he did direct that. My mistake. Anyways, so I skipped that tonight because I thought, I have to. It was a free screen. It was the U.S. premiere at a theater in D.C., but I thought I have to study screenwriting. It's going to take me 6-7 hours to not only go there, see the movie, come back, but I would have filmed the Q&A with the director, and then what am I saying? Edit it. And that would have taken a lot of time, and I wasn't all that interested in seeing the movie. So I stayed here. I read 2 screenplays, one for Nightcrawler, one for The Woodsman, which are both, I feel, sort of paced and sort of, not even, like, there's a, I don't know what I'd call it, but yeah, sort of paced to the way this movie I'm writing, that I want it to, not, like, sort of, I want to understand how they did it well so I can understand how to do my story well, what works about them. So that was good. I read 2 screenplays. I finished a screenwriting book last night, called The Secrets of Action Screenwriting from William Martell. Excellent book. A couple typos in there. It's an ebook, so I guess he writes these, he self-publishes, so there's no editor. But that was good. Oh, man, I'm sorry to hear that, Therese. You have COPD. Wow. Anyways, not only that, I'm thinking instead of getting a second job at some crap place like Safeway, paying $9.80 an hour, I should focus on videos, see if I can make extra money at those. And what I'm going to do is, and I mentioned this earlier, volunteer with the homeless shelter around here. So I signed up. I'm going to go to orientation next month. Then I can actually start volunteering. And then I can either make videos about it in like while I'm there and actually film my experiences there and film stories of homeless people being helped and film, their stories and what they're going through and their struggles. Or I can at least just film myself talking about the stories there and try and have these interesting experiences. Excuse me, because I owe it to myself to do that if I'm going to be a filmmaker, to go out and get new experiences. Thanks, Therese. What is? I'm afraid to ask. I'm sorry to hear that. Therese says she's got COPD. I'm just sorry to hear that. Anyways, so I'm going to try and get experiences with that and film that. And I want to make documentaries about it. I want to show, because to me, it pisses me off how stupid it is that the area where the homeless are in Arlington, not even in DC, but in Arlington, are such rich areas. It's so stupid and arrogant to me that there are people with wealthy businesses and big companies and corporations and wealthy people walking up and down the street, and there's homeless people on this one particular street in Ballston, the Ballston neighborhood in Arlington, that there's a bunch of buses there and there's a metro stop. At night, they just lie down all up and down the street and sleep there because it's a big sidewalk. Yeah, I don't know if I can bring in food. Amanda says maybe I can bring in extra food from when I film with my mom to the shelter. I don't know if they allow that or, how that would work. Maybe my mom could prepare meals for them. That'd be interesting. Because they do have certain, the food's got to be able to be something like sandwiches, I think, where you can give it to somebody and they can walk away and eat it. But I think they also serve food. They have like a cafeteria as well. So I don't know. I'll ask them about that. We'll see. We're in need too. Hey, we can't. The trouble is for us, all this food, it costs a lot of money for us to make, for my mom to make. So That's a difficulty. But where's Moco? Sarah says in Moco County there's a huge homeless problem. Montgomery County, you mean? Excuse me. Go scratch my face again. Oh, just scratched my face. Don't want to do it on camera. Yeah. Okay. Seriously. Yeah. Montgomery County. Yeah. There is. In Arlington, it's just so astoundingly stupid and arrogant to me that we don't have a bunch of all these wealthy people willing to put money to make a homeless shelter near there. There is a homeless shelter, but it's a little further away. But it's so stupid to me that there isn't one right there in that neighborhood, on that street, somewhere around that intersection, because they're in front of 7-Eleven, panhandling, and they sleep on not park benches, although there is a park there. That they just hang out there and sleep there at night, walk up and down the street. How stupid does everybody walk by and they think, oh, I'd rather see this. I'd rather have people getting sick and go to the emergency room and not being able to pay than us paying to give them a place to live, to give them proper medical treatment, because appointment treatment is usually less expensive than an emergency room, especially for something basic. But give them a place to sleep. It'll make them healthier. Give them food, help them get jobs. Wouldn't you all rather want that? It's so stupid to me. And of course, we have a lot of ignorant people around here, a lot of arrogant people. And there's all kinds of, I'm sure, zoning problems and, everybody's stupid bureaucratic thing where you can make it. It's like, housing covenants that would keep Black people out of certain neighborhoods. You never say the word, oh, we don't want homeless people here. You just say, well, our concern is if we have a homeless shelter here, it's not going to, it's not properly zoned, and we're going to have a problem of traffic impedance in the area. And then on top of that, it's not zoned properly for getting medical treatment. They'll come up with every white person bureaucratic list that a person in a suit can give you. But all it's going to be is an excuse for why you can't help poor people, why you can't help homeless people, when it makes so much sense to. So I want to show that outrage in videos and make documentaries about it, and I want to film the people who we help. Some people, film their stories, film them getting housed, show it makes sense to house homeless people and feed them and help them get the medical treatment and help them get jobs. It makes so much more sense than letting them live in the street. Having to me, the indignity is having to know I live in an area where you walk down the street and there's a homeless person there, and we aren't all doing something to help them. To me, that's an indignity. Not having to give my money or anything. That's the biggest cost to me. It's not the money, although I don't have much money at all to give. That's why I'm volunteering too. Hey, if I was rich, I would love to give a ton of money to them, but I can't. I don't have really money other than my credit card right now. But I want to make documentaries showing that outrage and showing how it makes sense to give and get other people driven to give money, or to go out and just give food themselves, or to donate money to the shelter, or build their own shelter. It doesn't have to be so absurdly, insanely expensive to do that. But of course, we have so many crazy rules and zoning laws and regulations, red tape, and bureaucracy and permits. And you need to, pay 1,000 people, grease 1,000 palms, and make sure that everybody's on board. And if somebody doesn't go for it, oh, well, it's nobody's responsibility in particular. And as a result, it's exactly the situation we have now, where the homeless are sleeping out on the street and on bus benches at bus stops, and on sidewalks and in parks. So apparently that's what people would rather have. And that's just so arrogant and stupid to me. Anyway, so I want to make videos about that and see if that helps my channel too. Maybe that can bring in more money to my channel. Maybe I can tell really good stories there, maybe make films about it. And that's in addition to screenwriting, which I'm still working on a lot, working hard on that. Again, I read 2 screenplays today. Oh, interesting. Sarah says, I got my student service learning hours helping the homeless. Yeah, I should have this a while ago in a way. Now that I'm finding it, hey, the timing's good. Timing's right. And I'm glad to be doing it. And the good thing about volunteering is it's low pressure. I'm not committed to any certain amount of time. If I have a lot of extra time, I can do it. If I don't, I can skip it. It's not a big deal. Although I'm not trying to skip it, I'm trying to do it at least, maybe once a week. just dedicate some time to doing it, and and see where else I can work it in, and where I can work the videos in, because that's what I want to do too, is bring this asset of my YouTube channel and my filmmaking knowledge to volunteering with the homeless and helping, giving free videos. If they hired a videographer, it would cost thousands and thousands of dollars. A lot of videographers charge like $125, $150 an hour to film, and that to edit as well. And that's just for maybe a short 3-minute video. So this is something I could do my story my way, and tell it in a way that shows how strongly I feel about it, and get some of that outrage to people. Angelo, it would be really interesting to do a reality doc type series, each episode featuring the story of a person, offer ways to donate at the end. I definitely want to include ways to donate. How it unfolds, I'll see. I don't know. If following people like that, it's always sort of more work than you ever expect. But I want to see. I want to try that. I want to try for something like that. Oh, do live donation streams. Donate half to the cause, half to yourself. Oh, good idea. And I was thinking about something like that, but I should do something like that. Yeah, maybe with this organization. I would check with them, see if they're okay with it. I guess I can't say no because I could do it right now if I wanted. I don't have to volunteer with them. Yeah, maybe I'll do something like that. Thanks for the recommendation, Therese. So I definitely want to include ways to donate, because it makes no sense. And if I have this YouTube channel, now I have this thing that, we've all built up here, and my mom and dad and other people, lots of other YouTubers too. There should be something to, like, I can use this as a catalyst to get this organization out to a lot more people. Justine says, do a GoFundMe campaign. I'm not trying to do GoFundMe now. Because I would want a really specific goal in mind. As it is, I'll film, the stories I feel that are strong, and put them online and see. But maybe from that, I'll have an idea that I need to get some funding for, and I'd see when that happens. I'm not concerned about that right now. Justine asked, or Justin, I keep saying the Spanish pronunciation, but for all us Americans out there, it's just Justin. Do you need equipment? It depends what you're trying to do. Not really. This camera is perfect for everything. It sounds great, the picture is good, and the battery lasts a long time. You can film for hours and hours before you fill up an SD card. I've never filled up an SD card on these cameras, and that's with filming maybe up to 2 some hours or so. My DSLR I have, it would fill up in like 45 minutes, and you have to stop filming every 10 or 11 minutes, and it would overheat and all kinds of stuff. This is what I use to film almost everything. Obviously, I'm on webcam now, but this is great. And plus, it's pocket. What I love about it, it's pocket sized. I don't need a bag to carry this around. Put it in my pocket, bring it around with me, go ahead and film. I'm ready to go. So really simple. This camera is great. Canon G7X. A lot of YouTubers use these. So this is perfect for filming on the street, because I'm not getting a bunch of attention. I can do it, and it's good in low light. It's good in a lot of different conditions. And again, it's not a big camcorder or a big DSLR or a prosumer or even a professional, like a cinema camera. It's out of the way. It's unobtrusive. Look, it's like a pack of cards, basically, or like a pack of cigarettes with the width. Like, it's like a little over 1 finger. It's not even 2 fingers of a width. Canon G7X. So this camera is great for that. So not really. I would want to shoot it. Hey, that's how William Friedkin shot. He didn't shoot on this camera, but it's essentially how he shot his documentary that I skipped seeing the premiere of with him in attendance tonight, The Devil and Father Amort. He shot it apparently on like Canon DSLRs, I think, just like Canon 5Ds or something, and he would just handheld shoot it himself without a crew, because the Exorcist wouldn't allow a crew around. He only trusted William Friedkin. I don't know. It's just silly to me. Anyways, so that's what I'm looking forward to do. Again, I'll be able to start next month. They have an orientation early Saturday morning. I am not going Saturday morning because I work Friday night, and I'm trying to get up that early and do it. And also, I'm trying to do stuff with my dad. I'm trying to do more videos with him, by the way, because people like the review of The Death of Stalin. And for a movie that's not even that popular, it's an excellent movie, but it's not even that popular. To get that many views means we could get even more with other movies and more popular movies or whatever else. Um, Man, I really got to take a leak right now, so I'm going to end the stream stream to do another stream myself. So, anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the story. Again, it was a sad story. I don't take any pleasure in it or revel in it at all. But all I can say is, I even like I'm glad to take something from the loss. Um, yeah. Therese says, you said you have mental illness. Maybe do a doc on that, and homeless people with it donate half to mental awareness. I'll keep it open. I might do something like that at some point. So yeah, it's a sad story, but there is something I did find meaningful even in the loss, because it wasn't all loss. We did have good times too, even though it was all online and long distance. We did get along really well, and I'd never really shared that with anybody before, and I had that experience, and I was surprised to see that, to learn that, oh, I can get along with someone like this. I'm not just a total loser, and that was always empowering. Yeah, it was genuinely really sad. The others, I mean, it just, I wouldn't want that for anybody. And she was going through horrible stuff, and even though that doesn't excuse abusing someone, it means it's a responsibility to get better. Anyways, hope you enjoyed that story. Again, lady faked her own death with me to try and manipulate me, then revealed that she tried to seduce my brother, and he actually went along with it for a little bit, and was flirting back, even though he had a long-term girlfriend. This is the asshole brother that's attacked me several times and then lies about it afterwards. He choked me, and it's on camera, and you can hear me gagging and losing my breath. And he said in a YouTube comment, I made another video about that, A383 reacts, saying, oh, he said I did elation because he choked me. So they dropped that charge at his trial because he gave a no contest plea, and said he and accepted the assault and battery misdemeanor conviction. That was the second conviction. He's attacked me more times than that again. So anyways, yeah, and he had a long-term girlfriend, and he was flirting with this other lady, and she lied about it. Anyways, thanks again for watching, guys. I'm going to work on this homeless documentary, hopefully. I really want to get into that, really work on my screenwriting. I've got books on that. Oh, by the way, I want to share one book I just got. Really excited about this book. I'm learning a lot from it already. It's crazy what I'm learning, because I want to get more fit in case I'll just be more fit, healthy, but also I want to, if I get a second job doing security, I want to look the part a little more. I don't actually like being big. I don't want to be big. I like being thin, but I got this book, Arnold Schwarzenegger's The Encyclopedia wait, what the hell does it say? Of Modern Bodybuilding. I can't read it backwards. That's Arnold up there. Look at this book, man. All kinds of resources, guides on exercise, nutrition, how to avoid injuries, all kinds of different exercises I never even thought of doing. So it's a great guide, great book. And he wrote it. It's some fluff book. He wrote it because he had to study bodybuilding and learn it. So much of it is mental and understanding how your body reacts to different workouts. And it's not like training just for strength. Bodybuilding is you're sculpting your body to have a very specific look, and you can't just go at weights all the time and expect to be a bodybuilder. You have to do it in a very specific, deliberate way. You have to, oh, cool. Therese says, my cousin was Mr. Universe. True story. Cool. It's so specific. The nutrition, the amount of water you drink, everything is very particular. So anyways, it's really cool to read and learn from. All right, I got to take a leak. I got to go. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm going to be working really hard on videos and writing movies too. I want to write a bunch of movies and shoot a bunch of them too. All right. Thanks again. Good night.